Hey y'all, it's Niche the Soul Magi, and I'm back again with another video. Okay, so I want to say happy 2026. I know y'all haven't been seeing me consistently doing long form content for a while. I just kind of throw some things up there, and I've been showing little glimpses of what's been going on. I have anything to say besides, y'all know I have Pisces in my big three. My Saturn return is almost over. Anywho, okay, so this year, a certain conversation has found its way in my orbit more than a couple times. And I said, how many other people out here are feeling like this? So the conversation is people started off with things that I'm no longer accepting, right? You know, everyone does their resolutions, and I'd be like, I don't know if I'm resolving anything this year. It just is, and that's okay. But the conversation has been about what we are allowing going forward and things that you valued now that you didn't value before. And so they came in the topic of friendships. And it was so interesting to me because an acquaintance brought it up and two friends and then two really close friends. And then it just so happened I was talking to the maintenance man and they brought it up. And also my clients have been bringing it up in session. So I was like, let's talk about, and I want to hear from you guys as well. What are you accepting this year that you didn't previously accept? What are you calling in friendship and community, right? It doesn't even have to be friendship. It could just be community, right? We are past the point of thinking that friendship has to be our only form of community. Heavy on the acquaintances. They're just so important. I was talking to my homeboy and he was like, who are you cutting off this year? And I was like, oh, I don't have anyone to cut off. I started my cutoff in October. I started my cleaning out of emails, phone numbers, late September, mid October, all of November. December, I didn't really have to do anything but you because your number wasn't saved in my phone and blah, 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 blah. When I say nothing, had nothing to give. So I wrote down a few that were my favorite. And this person was like, "Oh, I just cut off 2 groups of friends. They just weren't serving me anymore." So, you know, I get interested when my male friends say they're cutting things off because, you know, males just really like, they don't really, very few are like, "Hey, I've transitioned out of this friendship." They're just gonna be, "I'm not talking to you no more." You know, it is what it is. So I get asking questions. So I asked everybody questions, and this was a consensus. 5 of 6 people said, I'm cutting out people who don't communicate well. And I equated that to basically what everyone was saying is afraid of confrontation. Also, one of my big ones. It's very high up on my big ones. And then they said they don't even know what they desire in friendship or how to be a good friend, not only to me, but to themselves. And I was like, that's tea. I don't really have that one. So, and it's been a really long time since I've asked someone what they desire in a friendship. And the first time I did that was with one of my friends, DK, in grad school. He said, "Hey, if we decide to have a relationship together as friends, what are your expectations of a friendship so I can know now?" Yeah. And I really had to think about it because my mind was like, as a friend, you know, you show up as what that person needs you to. And he was like, "You want to talk about a soul who has done the work?" Okay. Anyways, so I wrote down 7 of mine. 7, 6 of mine, and then we did an honorable mention as 7 because this is something I heard from everyone, but in different forms. So the first thing I want to say, these are things that I would accept as clients, but not in my personal life as friends. And the first one is if you are not your favorite person, you might need to be chopped from my life because here's what's going to happen. If you have a person who they are not their own favorite person in your life, it's always going to be followed by fan behavior of something. If you know, you know, it's going to be very male centered. It's going to be very woman jealous. It's going to be very, they're a fan of you until they're not a fan of you. You can do no wrong until you do something wrong. And also, if a person is not their favorite person in the world, not saying that you have to be perfect, you have to have a whole bunch of self-esteem. However, if we are in a connection and I am my favorite person and you are not your favorite person, there will be a light of resentment in that. Because in order to truly focus on self, focus on connection, focus on healing yourself, you got to be your own priority. And if you're not ready to make yourself your favorite person yet, or even a person that you are in devotion to, because it's been plenty of times where people are like, I don't know how to make myself the favorite person, and you've been battling whatever. I'm going to tell you like this. You got to make yourself the favorite, as in, I'm showing up for me and it's not optional. It is. I have no other choice but to show up for me. If you cannot make yourself your favorite, you at least need to be a devotee to you. Enter into a relationship of devotion with self. How do you do that? Honoring your needs. First of all, figure out what your needs are. If you don't know what your needs are personally, I want you to pause on relationships, friendships, relationships, anything other than an acquaintance, anything that requires a deeper level. That way you don't end up molding to what someone else's version of a relationship is because you didn't take time to calculate and to configure your own. That is one of the best things you can do. Devote yourself. Okay, what do I like? What do I not like? What did I like when I was a kid that I don't like now? What do I like when I was a teenager? Or for those of us that just entered their 30s, like, what did you desire or really inspire you yesterday that doesn't inspire you now, and why? Also, there's nothing wrong with picking up with your friend when they're not as self-absorbed. Some of us have placements that really keep us in a more collective energy. I won't say codependent, I'll say more collective. Some people really thrive in solitude, and others, that's just, they were just meant like life path threes. If you are a life path three, you may enjoy a little bit of solitude, but your real joy is going to come from community, whether that's partners in community, community events, family, friends, all of that. So just take your time with that. But yeah, if you are not your favorite person, I would chopped for me because you're not going to be mad at me because I put me first. Before anything, I got to put me first, Lucius. Do you understand me? I have to put me first, Lucius. And somebody who doesn't know how to put themselves first, that's going to piss them off every time. You'll be every kind of self-centered there is. Okay. Number 2. This one's my favorite. It's a little spicy. Okay. If you are currently enmeshed with your partner, your family, your friends, or your job, okay, in unhealthy ways, and this person, place, a thing still has access to you currently and consistently, meaning they could just call you up and dysregulate your system at any point in time, chopped. Okay, let's get that out of here. Now, watching experiences like this really puts me in a very defensive mode. And I know you're thinking that's a you problem. It absolutely is. And instead of taking the nurture out of me and the natural protector and the natural warrior woman that is in me out, I am choosing to remove, and I would encourage anyone else to remove things that take you out of places that you've already healed from. I would encourage you to not let anything get out of your character because of someone else's chosen lack of boundaries with a relationship or a situationship, a place or a thing. If somebody got a job, they're running ragged and they complain every single day when they go there. And I know you know what I'm talking about because if you don't have a person like this in your friend group, you might have one in your family. They are going to complain and complain about how raggedy their job is. They ain't putting no applications nowhere else. That's a hard no for me. And the last one about this, people with toxic families who do not live with their families any longer and have not made boundaries. If you live with your family or if you live with a person who is severely toxic, I don't expect everything to be gone with them. I don't expect there to just be nothing because you're still in that environment. If you've actively moved out and they still have access to you because of your lack of boundaries, we have a problem here. Especially if you have parents, siblings, family members, close friends who bully you and you know that you're being bullied. You know that you're being abused verbally or whatever, and you still give them access, chopped. Okay? Here's my thing. If you can't stand up to your first bully, and I don't even mean that you have to go back and forth with them, argue with them, anything like that. I don't even mean that you have to address it, but there's so many ways to distance yourself from family who is not healthy for you. We can start with a lot of people go no contact. I don't believe that that's something that you have to do unless you absolutely have to do it. You can completely go low contact. You can go events only, meaning that your time around them has a start and end time. There are so many different ways to do it. Also, if you have, I'm talking about friendships. As a woman, if you have mother issues that you have not dealt with and you still actively engage with your mother and she bullies you or any of that, it's chopped, chopped, chopped. I won't be saying more. That's what causes fan behavior, if you will. Okay, I forgot one. Number 3. Got my voice cracking. Number three, if you need therapeutic advice every single conversation about the same thing more than twice, child, let me tell you why. I actually really love getting advice when I know that you're going to take it. But this goes back to the same thing that we talked about earlier about that job scenario where you know you hate it, but you just have not made any choices to move out of that situation. You have 2 times to get my advice about the same situation. After that, I assume that you like the lifestyle that you are living and you will not hear another word from me. Your thoughts will fall upon deaf ears. Yeah, because you weren't listening the first time. I don't mind listening to you. I just won't be giving you solutions if you're not going to take action on them. I find that to be very disrespectful to myself, and I don't speak in environments where I'm not heard in. So, that'll be it. In my personal life, people who avoid confrontation, I just find it to be strange. Because if something bothered you and you're gonna have like this weird vibe between us every time instead of saying what's on your mind, I feel like let's just go ahead and cut losses here. Let's wrap this conversation up with the quickness by all means necessary. When there is real, genuine love in the friendship, and I mean like self aware love, you can always talk to the other person. And if you cannot talk to them, I guarantee you that's not a relationship you ever needed to be in. And I mean, if you can't talk to them in a way where respect is still present, if it gets disrespectful, it's not meant for you. Because nobody who love you will really talk to you in a way that's disrespectful and not care about the impact. Wrap it up. Take your avoidant ass on somewhere. Say what you need to say. And if you can't talk about it, it's not a big enough issue for you yet. Or me. I don't read minds in my friendships. I don't value it. 5. For those of you loners who have friends, there's a specific group of you guys, loners. If your friends are going to be mad at you when you're in isolation or taking a break from life or just figuring out stuff, chopped, instant no access. I have Pisces in my big 6, and I won't really be explaining that any further as long as things are communicated well. And I think also if someone is mad when you're taking time for yourself, taking time to grow, that's that fan behavior type shit. I need your energy to say fan because I only feel normal when you're in my everyday conversation. You have to go talk to that lady. And when I say go talk to that lady, I don't mean me. Because if I'm in your personal life, you can already talk to me about it. But if you hit me with a number 4, scared of confrontation, you need to go talk to that lady. Go sit on that couch. I don't know what to tell you. Number 6. Okay. This is for people that I have randomly met in Atlanta. I don't think I ever experienced this before. At this point in my life, I'm pretty busy. So, chalk. If you continuously cancel a certain amount of times, I want you to think of that last text message as our last meeting. No harm, no foul. I'll just never see you again. Be blessed. Because again, it's a respect thing. You have to respect people's time. I don't have all day to dilly-dally with other people. I got time for myself. I just don't have time for y'all. Okay. Now, honorable mention number 7. I happen to be out having a conversation, and it just so happened that the context of being someone's friend slash favorite came up. We get to talking, and I looked at this person, and you can see, like, as a spiritual seer, you can see a lot of things. You can see light on people, you can see death on people, and sometimes you can see love on people. You can definitely see lust. And if you pay close enough attention, you can smell it too. But I was just like, wow, this person that I've only gotten this, and I meet a lot of people, I've only gotten this probably 1 to 2 times. I was like, this is somebody whose grandma really prayed over them and not no little prayers. I'm like, oh, you have not just ancestors walking with you, you got them praying with you as you walk. And that's a different type of, he was saying like, I wasn't nobody's favorite. We were poor, so I really couldn't be a favorite growing up. But I'm the only boy. And I was like, and I'm the youngest. I said, sometimes it's not about having money, being somebody's favorite. And this goes back to what I said in the beginning. It's not about being somebody's favorite. That's not what it's about. Or having money, being spoiled in a certain way. Some people are spoiled with community. And I mean deep community. Some people are favored by God, right? You don't really see them do too much in life, but you just somehow everything always works out. Like the Most High just literally favors them. Some people are favored by their grandmother, by their auntie, by their uncle, cousin. You ain't never had no favorite cousin. You ain't never been somebody's favorite eater. If nothing at all, you've never been somebody's favorite. But anyway, you got to be somebody's favorite in something. And if you haven't been, you really just got to work on being your own. And he said, when I meet people and they don't seem like they've ever been anybody's favorite, like nobody ever loved them right, I try to run away from them. He was like, because they'll be mad and try to ruin you every single time because of how other people show up for you. he said, I don't even let words come out of my mouth around people like that. And I was like, heavy on that. So that is one thing that I would add as an honorable mention. People who have never been anybody's favorite and they're not their own favorite, honorable mention, chopped. Okay. But yeah, chopped. You ain't finna be mad at me because you weren't your mama favorite or your daddy's or anybody. You never even have a favorite teacher. It's okay if the world didn't. It's not okay that the world didn't treat you right. But it's time for you to treat yourself right and put you first. That is it. That is all. So I want to say in the comments below, if you are booking for a reading, my books open in March of 2026. I don't have nothing for you. January, no. Unless you need an emergency reading and I've done a reading before you, I got you. Same for February. You guys know it's Black History Month. I might do love readings during that. I feel some pregnancies coming on and they're not for me. It's so funny because I feel like never mind. Let me not tell their business before they figure it out, but just know, I'm sure I'll be at some baby showers later this year, early 2027. Oh, so below, I want to know what has gotten people chopped from your friend list, from your anything within these last couple of years. What did you accept then that you're not accepting now? Where is the space for that? And my friend used the word chopped, but I said things that I don't have extra capacity to pour into. That's what I said, but I've been using chopped this whole time. So they are things, everything that is chopped is things that I don't have the capacity to pour into, whether it be friendship wise, work wise, anything. I don't have the extra space for that at this point in time. So be blessed. I'd love to hear from you guys. You will be hearing more from me soon. Just wait on it. Alrighty.